this is my wife Annette, and this is our bus Linus.
I couldn't believe it, guys. It was like kismet that these guys moved in next door. You got Charlie Brown, now we got Linus. You know, Snoopy moves in, we're in a lot of trouble, I think.
So she's a 38-foot flat-nose school bus out of Kentucky. We bought about 3.5 years ago and converted into a motorhome.
These guys have said it's okay for us to go in and kind of take a look at what they've done inside the RV to convert it to RV living, right? To convert the bus to RV living.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's check it out. We'll follow you.
So this is the motorhome. In here, this is the entertaining space. We've got the dining room, the living room, and of course, the biggest part is the kitchen.
That is awesome. That is a huge. And is this hardwood flooring?
It is. We built a house in 2010 and we had a bunch of shorts left over, so we were like, why not use that for the countertop? So put down some OSB underneath there, and then we used liquid nails underneath it here so it's not nailed to it, and we pieced it all together.
That is great. As this is your kitchen storage, just under storage?
Well, there, and then also our pantry is.
Oh.
Yeah,
like all of us RVers, we use every corner, don't we?
All that you can where you can.
Yeah, that's great.
And that night we did all the work. From it when we bought the bus, it had 3 school seats still left in it, metal ceiling, metal panels on the wall, and rubber laid down on the floor.
We took everything out. We scrapped all the metal that we couldn't reuse, and tried to recycle as much as possible. We still have little buckets of screws that we took everything down with, and we still reuse those.
When we put the ceiling up, we actually used some reclaimed and 1.5-inch foam board that came from some chicken houses that we came across. So we've got 1.5-inch foam insulation in the ceiling and also inside the wall panels there. So we put that in there to help try to keep it a little cooler, because as a whole you live in a glass walled tin can, so it can get kind of warm.
And you know what, I'm all about repurposing things. That's kind of what we like, our thing too. And I love the I channel. It's for the paneling, right? It's paneling,
yes.
Paneling channel, and you're holding up your. And this is a tarp, a canvas tarp.
Canvas drop cloth.
Canvas drop cloth.
We measured it, and Annette's pieced it together because we couldn't find one long enough. So she did the sewing and put it together for us.
You know, I'm really kind of looking forward to the stuff that you don't imagine in a bus, like the restroom and all that kind of stuff. I like to see that.
Okay.
Yeah, that is great. So you've got how big is your freshwater tank?
We've got 60 gallons of fresh water, actually. The reason why the bed's elevated is because the 2 wheel humps are just right there at the end of the bed. So it's just right, so we put 2 30-gallon tanks in parallel for fresh water in between there. As you can see, we've got the plumbing on the inside here. Our thoughts were for colder weather, because we keep the inside of the bus warm, then our water lines will also stay warm. So we've got our fresh water there, so we have the pump underneath there as well, and it comes around, and our water heater is right down here. It is electric and gas capable, but we only have it set up for electric. We haven't plumbed the gas because we just haven't felt how to need to yet. So.
And do you guys do regular toilet, or do you do a?
Yeah.
We used an actual RV toilet just for the space saving aspect of it, but also low water usage, because you can actually use it without even using any water, because with the elbow it dumps straight into the tank, which is underneath there. Most of the other stuff we tried to use what we could from a home improvement store, like from Lowe's. That way, if we're ever on the road and something breaks, we have a greater chance of coming across a Lowe's or a True Value than we do of an RV parts store.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love this. So pine tongue and groove.
That's just one in
just
1x4 furring strips.
Oh.
Because of underneath the floor, there's miniature I-beams, and there's also, we've got fuel tank over here. We've got battery boxes up front, the wheels and axles and the drivetrain. So we had to put the waste tank in a very specific spot. Well, to do that though, we couldn't bolt the walls to the ceiling. So where all these screws are, there's actually a brace.
Yeah.
So we couldn't line it up, so we put these up and then brace the
adds
walls
to this.
into the
Yeah,
1x4.
I understand.
How long did you have the renovation?
It took about 8 months.
8 months?
Yeah, we had the bus for almost a year
Yeah.
from when we bought it to when we headed out on the road. And so 8 months, we worked on it really hard to get it all done.
Wow.
One thing is once you build it or whatnot, if something breaks or goes wrong, you know exactly where it is and how you did it, so you also know how to either correct it, fix it, or take it out.
Okay, so here's what people are going to ask on my video.
Okay.
They're going to say, do these guys have a YouTube channel or do they have a blog? You know, that's exactly what they're going to ask, because they're going to want to see you guys many more times, especially when I tell them what you got in the bag. You want to tell them what you got in the bag?
A pottery shop.
So
It's not set up right now. We have our dog kennels back there, but yeah, I've got a kiln and a wheel in the back.
that is incredible, and it's just like I always think that we should diversify our revenue streams as full-time RVers, you know, and try to be able to take our passions and make money from them on the road. Because if you love what you're doing, you're never going to have a job, right? I mean, that's what they say. So, I mean, I think that's incredible. If you love pottery making, I mean, people want it, you know, so it's great. It's a great thing. Yeah, and this place is awesome.
Different places.
We usually work somewhere like a national park or national forest during the summer, and this is the first time we've had a job during the fall, because we usually do pottery shows during the fall, but this year we decided to work in Kentucky instead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's little places like this that are all along our path as full-timers to be able to make some quick money and, you know, kind of move on and be able to explore and do what we want to do and have our freedoms, and yeah, it's great.
That's the way we do it as well. You know, we're not going to get rich doing it, but each job just provides the means to our next adventure, and so we just keep going.
See, you've got a catchphrase already. I mean, you're ready. You know, No, that's great. A couple of questions that I had for you guys, though.
Okay.
I asked you, but so how do you insure this? Like this, I mean, it's hard to insure a bus, and buses are really expensive to insure.
It is now. This is no longer titled as a bus. In the state of North Carolina, we were able to actually get it retitled as a motor car, or a house car. But to do so, there are certain qualifications that had to be met, like had to have a separate sleeping area, had to have a separate like cooking area, a separate electrical system that's separate of the bus chassis, and then it had to have some other miscellaneous things like a toilet or a shower. Had 7, but you only had to meet 4 of them. So then we had a DMV inspector come out. He checked it out and made sure that we had made the changes. So we retitled it. But even then, a number of insurance companies won't necessarily insure a converted bus. But our insurance company, Farm Bureau Insurance, they actually do have a policy. Now, I cannot get comprehension. I can only carry liability due to the age, but also since I did the conversion myself. So therefore, to it, just got to make sure we don't burn it down, essentially.
Yeah.
Because it will be covered.
Are you able, I don't know about this, and you guys may know, are you able to insure personal property inside the bus itself? Like if you had things in here and just like you said, it did burn, I mean, is there any insurance like that you can?
I'm not sure. I mean,
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't talked at length with my insurance agent on
They
that.
should have an apartment renters like insurance, right? You know, like how you have the apartment or the.
Well, to some degree, since we still have a homeowner's policy, there's some that could possibly be extended from that. But a lot of the full-time RVers, this is home. We still own a house, but we are renting it out, so we don't live there.
You guys are in the same boat we are.
So
that's exactly what we do. We own a house, but the mortgage, and it still has a mortgage, is being paid by. And you know, that's one of the scariest parts about full-timing is, I mean, our tenants are cool and everything, but you never know. Maybe they want to move, and then we're kind of stuck. You know?
That's actually a situation we're currently facing ourselves. Our tenants have been great, but they have come across an opportunity that'd be better for them and to a different school system. So they gave us notice, and so we're having to fill out the ways of trying to, or different avenues to go
be able
to
get the house back.
Possibly the house on the market or renters. We'll just see what happens. You know,
we're almost upside down, so it's not a possibility for us.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
So yeah.
You can see the paint's peeling. It's got 292,000 miles on it, and so The reason we tow it is we need a truck for the pottery stuff, so when we go to shows to go between the bus and the show to carry the materials. But also, we already owned it free and clear. We could buy something else, but if you already own it, you do with what you got. And so to tow this one here, we actually have to crawl under there and I have to remove the drive shaft every time because I don't have a neutral option on the transfer case.
I see.
To keep from burning up the transmission.
So that's something that you could, like, they could have a kit, right? That you can.
They have a kit, but I haven't been able to find one for the Chevrolet half-ton truck. They have, a disconnect kit usually with a lever, or you can get a transmission pump, and I haven't found either one of those for this particular vehicle.
Wow.
So,
And who's this?
the German Shepherd, that's our dog Ginger.
Come here, Ginger.
Ginger.
Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. And see this right here? This boosts my views like 200 right now. Everybody loves dogs, man.
This is Ginger. And
especially look at
there's
Ginger.
Leo. They're actually international travelers. They've been up to Canada with us, and Montana and Utah and many other places as well.
And this is who?
Leo.
Leo's kind of old, huh? How old is Leo?
Leo's around 10. Ginger's around 8.5, 9, we think. Ginger was a rescue. We got her when we think she was about 2 years old, and we've had her for
Who would give this
7, 8
dog? Who would
years.
give this dog away, man?
Well, it was a situation, from my understanding, where she was kept in a kennel all the time, and so she just wasn't ever able to get outside, and she was very scared of people. But as you can see now, she's awesome.
Fine.
And Leo was a parking lot puppy. So my wife, before we even met, somebody was in the parking lot giving away dogs, and if they didn't find a home for them, they were going to the pound. So she took one. So.
That is really cool. So how long are you with your tow?
Tow from bumper to bumper will be 60 feet bumper
Holy
to bumper.
moly.
The bus itself is 38 from bumper to bumper. So.
And any problems like when you're traveling, like as far as maneuverability and being able to?
Not so much. You just have to keep in mind how long you are and that you can't back up. I mean, because when you're towing 4 down, you can back up marginal pieces, like a couple feet.
Right.
But you got to always make sure you can get in and out. If not, you got to unhitch, and for us, that takes about 30 to 45 minutes to unhitch.
Once the car is on the tow dolly, I don't back up. I just don't back up.
See, we haven't tried the tow dolly. We've thought about getting a vehicle and using a tow dolly instead of towing 4 down, but then you have to find a place to store the tow dolly when you get somewhere.
Yeah,
so.
it's a lot easier to do the 4 down. Yeah. So, is it possible to look in the back?
It is right now. We've got the 2 dog kennels in there, and then we use it also for storage. As you can see, usually when we park, we actually store a lot under the bus, and we've got a skirt that'll go around the back of the bus to help keep it a little clean.
Yeah. Oh, and you built yourself a little set of stairs here.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing, girl? Oh, Raquel already went around the outside. Wow, that is so much more space.
It's about 10 feet back there, so the living area is about 28 feet long. This is about another 10 right here.
That is awesome. It's like a whole other. It's like our RV in the back. Like basically, you can fit all of our space back here.
So I'll show you our water tank. Our waste tank, which is actually different than your typical style waste tank. So here's our fresh water. Just used a cutting wheel on a grinder and just cut it in there and plumbed in. So the water tanks go right over here, and that's where the bed is, and the tank's on the other side of the wall.
Wow. See, I thought that room in the back was going to be much smaller.
It's a behemoth.
Yeah, because when I stepped inside, there was no lacking room at all. It's so big.
So then we have the waste tank, which is actually a repurposed food grade drum.
Oh, that is awesome.
It's a 55-gallon tank on there. We chose to go with white because if you actually hold a flashlight up to it, you can see where the liquid level is if you need to.
Oh, that's really cool, man.
And this here is a Bong Adapter you can get. I think it's from U.S. Plastics, that goes from the threaded bung part here, which is a different style thread, to a NPT pipe thread right here. And just then got the adapters, glued it in with the little T-valve.
Where did you come up with this idea? Is it just something that you came up with, or you did some research?
There is a website we did a lot of research and talking to folks with called Skoolie.net, SKOOLIE.net, which is a blog or website essentially where a lot of folks have posted what they've done with, and after cruising through various ones, you see ideas that you like, and this was one that somebody had on there and had some tips on how to do it, so that's what we went
great,
with.
Man. So right here, this is a basically the diamond plate toolbox from the back of a pickup truck, right?
It is. Actually, let me get a set of keys real quick so I can unlock it.
Okay.
This probably holds more money than the other parts of the bus nearly. This is the electrical box, actually.
Oh, I see. Hey, guy.
What's going on, big man?
You got a new haircut? All right. That'll make people dizzy. All right, so
So we just use more or less, except for the inverter here, it's housing electronics there. We got a variety of different ways that we can power. Using 110 right here, 110, we just backfeed into the panel off of this breaker, and this is how we power most of the bus over here. But since 110, you can only push maybe 20 amps at a time. You know, any more than that, it's going to trip the breaker or whatnot. We are wired actually to go up to 50 amps if we wanted to. Just give me a second here. Our 50 amp plug is actually right here.
oh yeah, I see it.
So we could actually plug in 50 and then it comes through.
So this is fairly self-contained electrical system box. So
It
this
is.
is your
Yep. And so we wanted to have a surge protection essentially. So what we actually have here is a fusible link in here. So we've got the blade, but behind here are 2 cartridge fuses. So when we run the 50 amps, if there's ever a surge, they'll blow out the
blow that
fuses
first, yeah.
before it
That's-
hurts anything in the panel or the wiring in the bus. We haven't used it much because, well, kind of like just running off of 110.
and those are deep cycles, 2 deep cycles.
They're marine deep cycles.
Yeah.
They've done okay. In the future though, a lot of people parallel 6-volt batteries like golf cart batteries, and you get a lot more longevity out of
Right.
them. And we got a 1600 watt inverter. We can't fully get 1600 watts out of it because we actually need to go to a thicker gauge wire here.
And so to charge your deep cycles are only on points where you're plugged into.
No, actually. My brother-in-law, who is really good with electronics here, through this solenoid right here, the bus itself, since it had all the lights, actually has a giant alternator on here.
Okay, good.
he
So you can
actually-
charge as you're driving.
As we're driving, we actually can charge the batteries and run the inverter as we're going down
that's
the
awesome.
road off that.
That is
alternator.
awesome.
So that's what that solenoid allows for. So when the bus is running, it charges.
That's great. So are you thinking solar in the future?
Oh yeah, we definitely would like to, especially some of the more foldable ones. I don't want to mount anything to the roof because anytime you start putting holes in the roof, it's just another place to possibly leak.
We know that. We got leaks already. But you know what? It really doesn't matter the type of RV and the cost of the RV. Everybody has problems in the RV world with leaks. Like, I mean, it was a $1.5 million diesel pusher. They have a leak in the ceiling.
The ceiling or around a window. Or,
Yeah, there's something. Slide out, yeah.
Water's always the end.
I think if anything, you're probably 10 steps ahead with a converted bus. I mean, there's probably a lot less problems with leaks in this than there is in most other things.
Well, dude, a lot of the pre-work that we did on the roof up there is one thing is we actually took all the old caulk on the seams of the roof here, and we recaulked them all, and then we went over top with Cool Seal, which is an elastometric paint, which allows it to actually shrink and expand with heat as metal does. And also it's supposed to help reflect heat, but I need to wash it for it to be a little more.
And so, is this emergency door in your bedroom?
It is. Right inside the bedroom, if you look to the right, there is a door here. Just an extra egress point if you need to in an emergency, or sometimes when we're having to drain the water heater out, it's just easier to open up that door and throw the water out through the door than carry it.
Yeah, it's great, man. This is what we want. We would love to have one of these buses. I think they seem like I mean, as you saw, the interior is just great, and they did most of the work themselves. It's just wonderful. It's wonderful that for them to have us over to look at it. So thanks everybody.
So this is it.
This is home.
Home on wheels.
Now 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're Modigazzi, we're living in an RV.